What's up, everybody? Okay, so I'm actually streaming from two different platforms. I'm streaming from YouTube and Facebook. And I have Shorty Doo-Wop with me. Say what up, Corey. All right, so he's about to go play. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? So I'm doing a quick video, and I'm also like trying something different. I'm streaming from two platforms, YouTube going, and I have Facebook going. So hopefully you guys won't get confused if I'm looking at like both cameras, because I got like two different cameras. Okay, I'm sorry. Say hi. Say hi. You know what's messed up? He was taking a nap, and I said, oh, I can go live real quick. He woke up as soon as the camera started. That's how that happens. So I wanted to do a video because I always hear people, especially people who come into, I guess, their spiritual knowledge of self, people who want to be natural, be more in tune with the earth, want to say conscious people, things of that nature. A lot of people feel that once you tap into your spirituality, tap into, there you go, Kari. He's about to go play with Yaya in the garden. When you tap into your like spirituality and become what they call natural, you feel like you got to turn your back on worldly things. You know, a lot of people feel like that they can't be a part, they can't be entertained by worldly things. Some people get like too spiritual, and I want to talk about that because I think those people are kind of extreme. And I used to be that kind of person. When I came into my consciousness, that's what I'm gonna call it, my consciousness as a human being, like when I took the red pill instead of the blue pill. If you watch The Matrix, okay, you know what I'm talking about. I went through at least 3 years of denouncing anything worldly. No listening to current music, no watching television, no watching the news. I didn't partake in events. You know, I didn't partake in anything that was considered worldly or secular. My only focus was advancing and like heightening up my spiritual part. Like I wanted to be so spiritual that I didn't want to be human anymore. And not to say that that's a bad thing, but there were some things that I needed to understand in order for that to happen. So I went through that period and realized even through that period, I was unhappy, because a lot of times when we get into that spiritual, natural self, we want to shun and tear and walk away from everything worldly. You know, we don't want money because money is the devil. That's what people think. We don't want to watch television because that controls you. You know, I'm not going to an amusement park to have fun. Like all that takes the fun out. You don't really get to enjoy your experiences, and life gets, and you start taking everything very, 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 very serious. And I know you guys know people like that. If you're not a person like that yourself, I was like that. Like I was that type of person where it was not cool. Like I got on people's nerves because every time I came around, I was talking about, you know, either some type of spiritual advancement, what we need to do. You know, we need to get our own land, live off the grid, all that kind of all that kind of stuff. I used to be that number one person. People did not like bringing me over to their house or bringing me over to their events because of that, you know? And so I had to elevate myself. And the one thing that helped me to find balance was I had to understand, just like all of us, we are spiritual beings here having a human experience. You know, a lot of times when we tap into that spiritual self, when we become conscious, a lot of us want to forsake the human side of ourselves and not pay attention. We want to forsake the human side of ourselves and just focus solely on the spirit. But we are spiritual beings here having a spiritual experience. I mean, having a human experience. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. We are spiritual beings here having a human experience, meaning it's okay for us to want to be a part of this world. You know, I don't think it's nothing wrong with technology. I think technology is a wonderful thing. A lot of people feel like the rightful place of human beings is going out and living in nature, not using indoor plumbing, you know, not wearing clothes, not wearing makeup, not expressing yourself through your hairstyles, not doing any of those things. All those things are considered unnatural. And my thing, when I say natural, I'm talking about you being your natural self, meaning you being the self that you want to express into this world, not being, you know, this boring, serious person who has like really no grip of reality, because the reality is that we are human beings here. Well, we're spiritual beings here having a human experience. And the things of this human 3D dimensional world are things that we are allowed to experience. Like, we are allowed to partake in worldly things. It's okay to watch television and to be entertained. You feel me? You know, technology isn't a bad thing. Like, I hate when people always used to say like technology is the devil, it's going too far, all these negative things. But if you look at technology, technology is very African. It's very, very African. And what a lot of people don't know, because especially African Americans and Black people, because we've been displaced from our culture, we have been displaced from our history. A lot of us don't know our history beyond slavery. We come from societies that were modern and advanced. You feel me? We come from societies that are modern and advanced. It is in our, if you truly want to look deep into your history as being a person of color, there was indoor plumbing in ancient Kemet. You know, they had transportation. This isn't white. White people didn't come and bring us science and technology. That was always ours. It's the fact that we forgot. And so when I understood that, I realized that, you know, I'm not going to deprive myself in this human experience I'm having right now by trying to be something, like trying to leave this existence. Like, I'm here for a reason, you know? And it was at that moment when I understood that I was able to find my true purpose. Like, a lot of people want to say technology and things that are advanced. You know, we got Uber going on. We got all this other kind of stuff happening right now. You want to think that's the devil? Like, my thing is, for instance, I'm into graphic designing. I'm into technology. I understand it. I never went to school for any of this stuff. You know, I never went to school for any of the things that I do that involve technology, but I know it. I understand it. And so you got to sit there and think that if I have an innate knowing of technology, how can technology be evil or bad or wrong for me if I already have a talent and a skill to utilize it and use it? You know, people got to really understand that we come from advanced modern societies, and there's nothing wrong with being advanced in this world. There's nothing wrong with it. All right, so I got some comments, and this is my first time I'm doing a live on YouTube, so I got to get my YouTube audience used to me doing some lives on YouTube. But I do have people tuning in on Facebook. So Ron Moses Sasser Gibson, I hope I said your name right. He says we are too deep sometimes. I think we're too deep and too serious because I think because of the disadvantages that we, especially Black people, have in our world due to white supremacy and racism, that we feel like we have no way out. You know, that we feel like we can't have a good life. And because we feel that way, we want to leave this existence. We want everything to fall. We want to blame it on the system. But it's really our system that needs to be changed. You know, we have to change how we're thinking about ourselves, because just because systems like white supremacy are in place doesn't mean that I can't advance in this world, because I have a mind like everybody else. You know, I have my own set of resources, just like every single person on this planet. So anything I put my mind to, I can make happen. And I think that's the energy and that's the knowledge that a lot of people in our society, especially African Americans, need to understand. Stop always blaming your shortcomings on someone else's, on someone else. You know, even though we deal with the racism and deal with white supremacy, stop playing victim. Do something to change it, because you have all the power to do something to change it, especially for yourself. Especially for yourself. A lot of people want to say, well, we ain't got money, we ain't got buildings. You can get that. You can get that. You can definitely get that. So I definitely agree with you, Ryan. I think we are too deep sometimes. And I think we're so deep because we don't know how to create our happiness on earth. And because we don't know how to create our happiness on earth, and because we haven't been educated on how to create our happiness on earth, we want to live outside of earth. And that's not right. And Pat Huntley, you says, yep, the great inventors 100. Yeah, we're great inventors. Like, how do you think Europeans were able to be as great as they are? And not to say that they're great, but they are in control to a certain extent right now. They've had a short period of control, which is going to be over very soon. But they wouldn't be as great as they are because when African American, well, not Africans, when the Moors educated Europeans, when they educated Europeans and brought them up out of the caves and civilized them, they, when you look at where they come from to where they at, it's a great difference. And they would not be in the position they are in if it wasn't for us and the things they taught from us. It's because of our lack of knowing our history and where we come from that we don't realize that a lot of the things that we consider evil or not natural or, unspiritual or anything come from us. You feel me? Like, I don't think that, the proper way to use the bathroom is to go outside. Like, it's not to say that's the proper. It's okay if you don't want to use the toilet. Indoor plumbing has always been a part of societies, not just this society. If you want to live like tribal and indigenous, and not to say that that's wrong, but some people like that. But it's okay to be natural in this world. Like, you can be just as spiritual as you want to be and still partake in the human experiences of this world. I feel like I'm a very spiritual person. I'm spiritual because I know myself. I'm in tune with myself, and I'm in tune with my surroundings. I'm in tune with nature. I'm in tune with the spiritual world. And so I feel that I am very, very spiritual. But I'm also very, very spiritual, and I'm also very of this world. I watch Love and Hip Hop. Hell, I've interviewed people on Love and Hip Hop. I'm in the entertainment industry as far as media. And that doesn't take away from who I am as a spiritual person. It even makes my experiences better because I'm able to utilize my spiritual knowledge and utilize just the power, my spiritual power, to help advance myself in my career. You can have both and you can be both. You don't have to be so extreme to the point where you want to turn your back on worldly things. Like, it's some people literally that's out here struggling right now. Struggling right now because their ego has them feeling that they have to be apart from this world, like away from this world, in order to be at their highest spiritually elevated self. And sometimes that's not true. Now, there is a thing called balance, and we need balance. Like, because some people get too extreme with technology, and that can throw you off. But it is possible for you to be as spiritual as you want to be, as natural as you want to be, and still be a part of this world. You ain't got to move out into the jungle. You feel me? You don't have to move out to the jungle. You don't have to live in the tropics. You don't have to say fuck indoor plumbing. You ain't got to do that. I bring my altars anywhere I go. I wear ankhs anywhere I go. That doesn't take away from me being a spiritual person. All right, so Kevin Payne Jr., you wrote a comment, and your comment says, now we have forgotten our place. The origin of a man's ignorance is the ignorance of a man's origins. We have so much inner work to do individually and collectively. I definitely agree. The inner work is essential, especially for people. And I say I'm coming from the African American experience because I am African American. You feel me? So I'm coming from that experience because that's what I am. And I definitely feel that our lack of self, our lack of knowledge of self, because we have been indoctrinated for years to hate ourselves and not like ourselves and want to be with someone else. And the fact that we have forgotten our culture, our cultures have been mixed in. Some people don't know which way to turn, you know. It causes us to have so much dysfunction going on to the point where when we do find ourselves and enter that journey of becoming spiritually aware, or what people want to say living natural in this world, we want to turn our backs on everything that is worldly, you know. And I don't think you should do that. I think it is very possible for you to be very, very spiritual and enjoy the world as well. Because we're here, like a lot of times, like the one thing that I say that's natural, what makes you natural is you being your naturally divine self, knowing who you are, knowing and understanding that makes you natural. It's not how you wear your hair. You know, it's not what clothes you decide to wear. It's not if you wear makeup or not. Those things don't make you natural. What makes you natural is if you are true to yourself. And can't nobody tell you what that should be other than you. You feel me? Can't nobody, you got to know yourself. You got to do the work. So Corindo, I hope I said your name right. Corindo Edwards. You said, hi, Queen. Thank you for sharing knowledge and blessings. Oh, that's what's up. Thank you for listening and tuning in. What's up, Carl? But yeah, I just wanted to share that because like I be watching some of these exactly. People want to be real. Pat, I agree. Natural is being real, being your natural, authentic self. That is key. Being your natural, divine self. That ain't got shit to do with how you wear your hair. If you got fake nails on, if you decide to if you decide to do things that people were considered not natural, like you got to understand the source and the ultimate foundation of being natural and being your natural self is being true to yourself, being real with yourself, not following into society's patterns of what you should be. You know, that's what natural is. All right. So Dennis Byron says, knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. Exactly. And I said that in one of my lives before, like having knowledge. And I say this a lot of times, having knowledge and having understanding means nothing if you can't apply it to change the situation of your life and the situation of your family. If you can take all this knowledge, read all these books, watch all these YouTube videos, listen to all these, I don't want to call them false prophets, but these so-called leaders of and holders of knowledge, and you can understand that to a T, you can recite it, you know, you get excited when you listening to it. If you can do that, but you can't apply any of that to your life to help change your life situation and the life of your family and your community, you're doing yourself and everybody else a disservice, and you ain't being natural. You know, you can't sit there and want to blame everybody else for blame, like, and I'm gonna put it like this: the racism thing. Racism is a big touchy topic for people of color because we deal with it so much. But I think a lot of people, especially a lot of people, we play victim. And every time we play victim and use our race as a reason why we can't advance ourselves, we're taking away our power and we're not using it effectively. You know, like I said, you can be natural and live in this world. So we got some more comments. Carl, you agree? You said yes, that's what's up. Derek Sager says, what a good knowledgeable sister. Thank you. Maurice Miller, you said absolutely. Jeffrey Woodruff, you says many in the conscious or woke community impose the same exact guilt, trip, discrimination, bigotry, and judgment as the religious community. The only difference is the language. Exactly, I agree. That's why I had to exit and move myself out of the conscious community, because it was different. It was no different from being a Christian or a Muslim. Like, it was still some type of I don't want to say religion, but it was still some another box with different information, but still another box. You know, if you were in the conscious community, and like, for instance, Brother Polite, people turned their back on him and went crazy when he took a picture with Kylie Jenner. Like, he done took a picture with the devil. Like, seriously. And he the conscious community. People didn't look at that situation as like, oh, this is a brother that came from the underground and is actually rubbing elbows with mainstream celebrities. Like, people, it's too much judgment in the conscious community. So I definitely agree. It's another form of box, another form of programming, just with different knowledge. My whole thing is people need to be true to themselves. I'm the type of person where I take information from a lot of different sources, and I trust myself enough to know that the information that feels right to me, the information that feels good and resonates with my soul, that's the information that I need to take. And I don't need anybody telling me what's right or wrong, because I tell myself what's right or wrong. I can tell myself what's right or wrong. I trust myself enough to know what's right or wrong for me, because this is my existence, this is my life, and I think that's how everybody should be. But we get caught up in the world so much that we don't want to take responsibility over our own humanity. You know, we don't want to take responsibility over our own lives. We don't want to take responsibility for our salvation. We want somebody else to be in control of that, because that gives us because when you take responsibility over that, you can no longer play the victim. And people like to always play the victim. It makes it easier for them. All right, so we had some comments come through. Carl, you says they don't know who they are. Read those books and they not teaching you. Read the books, they ain't teaching you. Okay. Don't know what you're referring to, but I definitely agree. Kevin Payne Jr., you says there's so many mindsets that we have adopted as our own that a person will consider to be authentically themselves, and that causes an illusionary reality. If you never think why you think the way you think, how do you know your thoughts are yours? We have to tune into ourselves on a more deeper, intimate level. Exactly. That is definitely true. And that's where reprogramming comes in. You know, that's where that reprogramming comes in. And in order to do that, you really do have to tap into your spiritual self. You have to tap into that. And a lot of people are afraid of that, especially Black people, because we have been programmed to think anything spiritual that's not considered Jesus is the devil, and you're going to go to hell. And that's not true. Like, it's a lot of other things. And Dennis Byron, you said the matters of the heart are important to me. All this materialism and all the money and wealth for things that you don't take to the grave. One day you have it, the next day you don't. I tell this to my nephew all the time. Yeah, I definitely think that I don't want to say material possessions don't matter, because I think material possessions are good. They're a part of the human experience. But I definitely agree. A lot of people live for the sake of money, and that's their reason to be here on this planet, and then they realize that's not making them happy. But I do think material possessions, especially in this world, are important, because you need not to say that you need, because I've had several broke days when I had everything I needed and was just as happy and content if I didn't have a lot of money. But I do think that we do have to be material to a certain extent, because that's all a part of the human experience. And that's the point that I want to bring out of this whole conversation, is that we are here as spiritual beings here having a human experience. So everything that's involved with the human experience, we are allowed to be able to experience, and we shouldn't feel bad for experiencing them. People should not feel bad because they want financial stability. You know, you shouldn't feel bad because of that. And if you are truly a spiritual person, you feel me? I'm about to hit y'all with this. If you're truly a spiritual person and you are not financially stable, not meaning being rich, but if you deal with poverty, you ain't as spiritual as you should be. Because when you think about money, and we're talking on the whole thing, like money is really mental. It's an energy. It's very energetic. And a lot of times people don't have the resources that they feel they need to have is because their mind isn't allowing it to come into their reality. Their emotions, their vibration isn't allowing it to come into their reality because they believe that they're not worthy of it. Somewhere deep in my, but that's a whole nother video, a whole nother topic. I did do a topic on that. I think I tapped on it a little bit in my last live I did a few days ago. Derek Stagger said, yep, we are all many guys on this planet and are supposed to create our own world right here on this planet. Exactly. I definitely do agree with that. It's all right. We need to create our own world. Derek Stagger says, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to type, cook at the same time. We felt what you were trying to say. It's good. It's all good. Carl, you says, open your eyes, people. Understand who you are. I definitely agree. And then it says, when I speak on materialism, I'm speaking on making that your God. Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. You shouldn't make that your God. That's not the reason why you're here. Like, because I know and people need to get out of that mindset of thinking that life will be great when I'm financially stable, when I have like all the cars I want, when I have the houses that I want, when I have all the money that I want, I'm going to be truly happy in this life, because that's not true. And it's not true because it's a lot of people who have committed suicide and just unhappy with their life when they do have all of their possessions, because your true happiness, your true power comes from your ability to keep your peace of mind, like keeping your peace of mind through it. So I definitely agree with that. And Derek Sager says, we need money to gain the resources we need to move forward and grow. Yes, I definitely agree. But then you also have resources beyond money. Like, it was this thing, like I came into this knowing probably about, I want to say 5 years ago. Like, I had my spiritual awakening, like when I decided to leave Christianity and just really go into the spiritual journey back in 2008. Which was 10 years ago. And it was a few years after that I realized that I was always supplied with everything I needed, even when I didn't know where they were coming. Everything I needed was provided for. Even if I didn't have the money I needed to get it, everything always came. And so I realized that I have an abundant, unlimited pool of resources. And everybody has that as a human being on this planet. We have that. We have access to that. That's like your birthright, to know that you have an unlimited pool of resources at your disposal that will get you anything you put your mind to. So what do I mean when I say that? I mean that anything that you want to do, that you believe that you can do, you believe you can accomplish, and you don't have everything you need to make that happen, you just have some of this, some of that. If you continue on that path of believing, the universe is going to supply you with everything that you need at the right timing. But I definitely do agree with you, Derek. We do need money. Money is it's a resource. And even if they replace the dollar bill with something else, you're still going to need that. Currency has always been a tool in this human experience. And people that try to teach you otherwise are just telling you bullshit, because currency has always been a part of the human experience. Even if it was bartering, you always had some form of currency. They had cowrie shells, they had rocks, coins. Currency has always been a thing. Now we're having like electronic currency. So currency is definitely something that's always going to be here. And another thing, for the people that want to, the people that are feeling on the fence of, can I be natural in the modern world? Do I need to go and live in an island somewhere just to be natural? I'm going to tell you this, and this is super important. There is always going to be a system that we have to live by. And the deeper you get into spirituality, you realize that there are several systems and rules and orders and things in place that we have to live by. Nothing is going to take away the system. It's always going to be replaced with something. When one system fails, another one is going to take its place. So it's a lot of people out there that have that concept of, I need to get out the matrix. I need to get out the matrix. I need to get out the matrix. No, it's going to always be a system. It's going to always be a system, whether you like it or not. You know, the thing is, you do not allow the system to rule you. You know, the fact that we, you dropped it? You dropped your cup? So the fact that we are here having a human experience, we all have the Neo complex. And I keep referring to the Matrix today, so I probably should watch that again. That's one of my favorite movies. But we all have that Neo complex where we can manipulate the system. And I'm not saying do something illegal, but just because there is a system at play and rules that are in play, you have all the power you need to bend those rules to form your own reality, to form your own matrix. Exactly, Derek. You make your own matrix. There's always going to be a system in play. So get out of that mentality of thinking that I got to leave the system. You know, I got to shit out in the woods because I don't want to use toilets. Like, what the fuck? Like, that don't make sense. You know, ain't nothing wrong with indoor plumbing. It ain't nothing wrong with taking airplanes. It ain't nothing wrong with the internet. That's how we communicating right now. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a part of this world. You can be very, very spiritual and still be of this world. You know, I don't want people to get like, and some people's purpose in life to be more spiritual than they are human. Like, it's a lot of gurus that spend all their time meditating, not even in this world right now. You feel me? And that's their purpose. You know, but it's a lot of us who are coming into that awakening of who we are and our roles here, and feel that you need to leave the country, that things ain't natural. You need, it's not possible. It's not that serious. Enjoy your life. Like, that's the bottom line. Enjoy your life, man. Enjoy it. Have happiness, have peace, create things. Create great experiences. Enjoy it. Create memories. Make connections. You know, experience things. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Like, our spirit is infinite, meaning that we're gonna always a piece of who we are. Our soul, our spirit is lasting. It's infinite. It's gonna last forever. This human experience is so short, and it's our job to be able to give it to me. You about to make a mess. It's our job to be able to experience it. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Like I said, I feel like I'm very, very spiritual. People wouldn't even think that I'm as spiritual as I am. You feel me? Because of the things that I do. But if it wasn't for my spirituality, I wouldn't be able to be in the places that I am. You know that, and that's the trick. That's the trick people don't get. I lived that life of not being in tune with the world, shunning the world out, turning my back on the world because I felt like that was my path. And let me tell you, that shit was very unhappy for me. You know, I felt like I didn't want to enjoy the holidays, being with my family and shit, because I felt like I was destroying, like shaming my ancestors because I came over my grandma's house for Thanksgiving. You feel me? Like, I used to be that type of person. I ain't watch no TV. No TV. I ain't listening to no radio. Wasn't watching nothing. Just out, not knowing nothing, not being in tune, not being hit. That wasn't right for me. Now, for some people, that's what they want. Some people, that's what they want. You know? But it ain't got to be that way. It ain't got to be that way. You can be of this world and be as spiritual, be in tune with nature as you want to be. You feel me? But I learned. It used to be the same way, Derek. Yo, I had to learn. How can I combine this knowledge and have light and have fun And the thing that helped me was understanding my purpose. I started getting into astrology and numerology. And through those two tools, I realized that through those tools of astrology and numerology, meaning my own natal chart, my numerology chart, I was able to understand what my role and purpose was in this life. You know, my astrology chart and numerology tells me that I'm supposed to be in the field I'm supposed to be in. When I realized that, I was like, oh, shit. So I am supposed to watch a little TV. You know, I'm supposed to be behind the television helping to bring the information to the people, because I realized that media is a powerful tool because it persuades the people. It influences people. And that's like a powerful place to be. So, you know, you can't be like that. You got to balance yourself. Now, don't get to the point where you forget nature and you be so of this world that you don't balance yourself and be in tune with it. You got to have balance. You said, what's a numerology chart? A numerology chart is it just really helps you to understand your soul's purpose here on this planet. Like on a spiritual level, it lets you know like what your purpose is, what's your inner knowing. And so, yeah, and I actually do numerology charts. If you go to my website at Natural Woman Magazine, we do astrology and numerology charts in our web store. And it's really good. My numerology chart, it tells you several numbers, like based upon the day you were born, your name, even your birth name, or if you have a spiritual name, it tells you that because you carry on the energy of all that stuff. It tells you your heart's desire. For instance, with me, my numerology chart, my life path number is a life path 11, right? So life path 11 is a master number. People who are life path 11s, their whole role is to inspire. They're people who tap into their 11 quality. If you have an 11 life path, your role is to inspire, to be illuminating. So it's like you're like light, you're a source of information. And they call it a spiritual master. And there are a lot of number 11s out there that people love, like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a life path 11. And y'all see Michael Jordan, he's an inspiration to so many people. And you've seen the things he was able to do. Lil Wayne is a life path 11. You know, any field he gonna be in, he gonna illuminate, he gonna draw people to him, he gonna inspire. Napoleon Hill was a life path 11. I don't know if y'all hip to the Think and Grow Rich series. So numerology is an excellent tool, and that was one of the tools that helped me to understand that I can definitely be of this world and enjoy my human life, as well as being very spiritual and staying true to myself. And I think a lot of people need to know that, because if not, you're going to listen to false teachers tell you the wrong thing. Have your ass out somewhere getting deported. You feel me? It ain't got to be like that. Like, I may not have a jungle, but I got a backyard. I'll go out and meditate every day, do my yoga. You know, when I really need a break from society, that's what vacations are for. You know, but I got a purpose. I got a job here. I don't think our jobs here are to be away from the world, because the world needs us to help build a new world. Like, what sense does that make for you to not be of this world, to move yourself out of this world, to not be in this world when you got all this spiritual knowledge that can help and uplift people? You feel me? Because let's be honest, if our role is to help advance and give knowledge back, bring up these next generations, these kids don't want to hear about you being out in the woods. You know, they want to hear about money. How can they live a happy life? You know, and it's important. It's definitely important that we understand that, because we got other people behind us. And we want to teach people how they can be of this world. We make up the world. There's no way to get around it. There's no way to get out of systems and to move out of the system. You got to be of the system. You just got to know how to move through the system and know how to create your own. That's all it's about. All right, Dega Staggers, she says, I believe that if we tap into this information like astrology charts and numerology charts, dealing with stars instead of making kids like the rest of the people, we will have a better place. I definitely feel like that information is very essential, and I think that information is key. Like every child that I've had, I have 6 children. I have 5 boys and 1 daughter. All of them, I know they astrology charts and I know they numerology charts. And I teach them about that, about themselves. I think that's the most important knowledge they should know about themselves, because if you know about yourself, you can manifest a lot of things for yourself. I think schools need to teach that. I think that needs to be in every school by the time your kid hit the 7th or 8th grade. Tell him I'm on a Facebook Live.
She said that she's on a Facebook Live.
Not yell it. Oh my gosh. Extra people.
I'm going to say when he going to collect it.
Take him with you. Huh? Take him with you. But stay in there for a second. So, back to what I was saying. I feel that children need to, I think that information of numerology and astrology charts need to be taught to us before we hit the 7th grade. We need to know that, you know, we control our realities. Need to know that through our emotional intelligence, we can attract the right vibrations into our lives. I definitely feel that those are the things that we need to have. So I definitely agree. All right, y'all. So I just wanted to talk about that, man, because I've been watching. I ain't about to call nobody out, but I be watching some stuff, especially in the conscious community. A lot of these followers that, I guess a lot of these so-called prophets and shit, they be leading people down the wrong path, man. You need to tell people the truth. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I'm going to speak the truth, and I'm not speaking the truth so you can follow me and be a follower of me and listen to me and always say, you know, I ain't trying to be that. I just want you to know the truth, because I feel that collectively, if we all live our own truths and know ourselves and know that we all have our own purpose to fulfill, and I feel that if as many people understand that and know that and start doing that, then a lot of the things that we're dealing with in the world will change and be fixed. I don't think we need to create new religions, you know, new ways of life, have new messiahs. You are your messiah. You know, you are your God. You know, you have everything you need to live the best life you need to live. And so I don't think that's right. So I had to just put that out there, man. You can be natural and live in this world, and don't let nobody make you feel that you don't have other people making you feel like you live in the fact that you're being in this modern world, being of the worldly world, that you ain't right or something wrong with you. That shit ain't right. Like, we all spiritual beings here having a human experience. And where you're at, if you choose to play sports, don't make you less of a human being. It's people that play sports that are super spiritual. You feel me? Like, don't let people tell you that. And I just wanted to do that live to put it out there, man. So yeah, Facebook. I'm about to wrap it up with Facebook. And then I'm gonna be wrapping it up with YouTube right now. But I'm glad y'all tuned in. Please share. I left the link out there. If anybody wanted a free recipe book for vegan meals, it's 30 meals, some great recipes, and it ain't all salads like my daddy like to say. My daddy say I like to eat salads. I eat good as a vegan. And I'm not vegan 24/7, but the majority of my diet is vegan based. So yeah, make sure y'all click that link. Y'all can get y'all a free ebook emailed to you. It's really dope. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, go to my Facebook page, connect with me. Make sure you click the button so you can be notified when I do another live. And that's it. So peace out, Facebook. All right. So sorry, YouTube. That was long. So that was like my first time actually doing a Facebook Live and YouTube together. I don't know if I'll do that again. We'll see, because I feel like most of my attention was on Facebook because I had a bigger audience there. But I hope the information was useful. Like, I do not feel that because we are of this world that I do not feel that just because you are spiritual and natural, that you have to be out of this world and not participate in the world. I think that's very misleading. I think it's more important for light workers and people who are healers, and I think people who are truth bringers to be of this world, to help spread the truth. Why be out of this world when you find the light? Our goal is to bring the light back so other people can find their lights. But that's it, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. I will go live sometimes. I got a few interviews lined up, as well as my other content that I do share that's a bit more edit professionally. But this is just like a random YouTube live, trying this for the first time. I'm going to start engaging my YouTube audience more as I do my Facebook audience. And hopefully, and then I'll do vice versa. Sometimes I would just do a plain YouTube live without even involving the Facebook. And when I do that, that's usually when I got some good interviews coming up. And I do have some good interviews coming up. But that's it, y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments. I know this is long. Hopefully it'll be short. But as I say, I like to talk when we engage. But until next time, people, peace.